Hey folks, my name is Ari with FitPro VR, and I'm here to talk about my most controversial video to date. It's got so many downvotes, and actually a few upvotes as well, and I get completely filleted in the comments. Okay, okay. A lot of people take this video really seriously. A lot of people in the comments don't really know what the f they're talking about either. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through a few of the comments that have been left on this video with my trusty phone here. Yep, see, there it is. There's all the comments right there. And I'm going to just address some of these because holy shit, some of you guys are idiots. Let's go. Okay, so Megalodon8528 says, LOL, please tell me about your boxing experience and how you know any of this. I fought in amateur bouts as a teenager and can state from experience that you don't actually feel 90%, 90%, that's a very specific number, 90% of the punches during a match. Now the next day is a different matter, we'll agree there. Do a little research before you decide to post a vid and pretend to know what you're talking about. Well, thanks, Megalodon8528. Yeah, but I actually have 3 amateur fights, 4 years of training in gyms. I've trained with UFC fighters. I coached my son in jiu-jitsu. I know that has nothing to do with boxing, but, you know, I've been in this community for a long time, and I'm sorry you've had a few amateur bouts as a teenager. I don't know how old you are. You could be 40. But again, I also wrote my master's thesis on strength and conditioning for applications to combat sports. So I kind of do know a little bit of what I'm talking about. And I'm going to say that the statistic of 90% of the punches you don't feel, that's just something this shark, pulled out of his ass because, like, if that were the case, people wouldn't be covering up in a match. And, like, if you ever watch any kind of boxing and people get hit, you feel it. Unless you're, like, wearing headgear. I mean, you still feel it. But, like, honestly, you do feel it. It's not nearly to the extent of, like, if you're standing there and somebody goes, hey, come punch me in the fucking face. But, like, you feel punches. They hurt. Yeah, I know this. But thanks, Megalodon. Your input is stupid. Let's keep going here. Kyle from the future, he must know something I don't know, says, yeah, you're just wrong. Shadow boxing is probably one of the most valuable, consistent, important training techniques in all forms of fighting. And Kyle from the future, I 100% agree with you, but this isn't shadow boxing. Now, I know, and there's actually a lot of comments in this video about, like, why shadow boxing is good and why it's... Okay, I agree. Shadow boxing is good. But if you've ever trained in fighting, shadowboxing is like this much of your training. And you don't shadowbox in a gym the way you play Thrill of the Fight. You just don't. Like, when you watch people, like, go watch some of these guys like Icy Mike and Sensei Seth and even, I don't know, that UFC guy, I can remember his name, the karate guy, this guy. Like, go watch them play this game. They have videos about this game. So go watch them play it. But honestly... they don't shadow box. Like, if you're prepping for a fight, you shadow box, like, in a controlled, light manner because it's all about visualization and focusing on each one of your punches, imagining your opponent is there, and going through the things that you know in your head. It's not throwing haymakers and trying to put a guy to the ground. If you went to a boxing gym and you shadow boxed the way, and for those of you in the comments who are saying, well, I shadow box, okay, go to your boxing gym and shadow box the same way you play Thrill of the Fight, and your coach is going to be like, whoa, Tiger, chill the f*** out. You just need to slow down. So, yes, while I agree shadow boxing is great, and actually it's a really important part of, like, especially to your, like, the week before your fight and warming up for any training day, yeah, shadow boxing is super important, but playing Thrill of the Fight does not equal shadow boxing. It equals shadow haymaker throwing or shadow, like, I don't know, brawling. I don't know. It's better to shadow box in a mirror. You know, I'm not a big fan of weighted shadow boxing, but throw a couple egg weights in your hand, and honestly, you're going to be 10 times better in your fight doing that with, like, visualization and, like, focus, and it's almost like a meditation than playing Thrill of the Fight. I love Thrill of the Fight, but no. Sorry, you're just wrong. Okay, let's see here. Okay, here's one that I do actually kind of agree with. And so I'll give a bit here. And it's from my good friend Ricky Garcia. It says, VR boxing has made both my son and his gym mates significantly improve their fighting stamina. Again, that's kind of, you know, hearsay or conjecture. There's really might not be any like evidence to say that this is what did it, okay? They are some of the fittest fighters in their weight and age range in our local area. Again, I don't know what age range they are, so I can't really say anything about that. By the third round, most of his opponents are feeling fatigued, and he's still going strong. It's a great supplement to gym work that helps improve muscle stamina in ways that most other forms of training can't without a partner. So, okay, so I agree with some of that. Yeah, it could improve some of your, like, cardio stamina, but, like, there are 10 other things that you should be doing before doing Thrill of the Fight. And, like, Thrill of the Fight would be, like, a cool addition to fight training if, let's say, you don't have access to your gym. Let's say, you know, your gym is closed down for renovations and you don't have a heavy bag at home and you can't go to another gym. Like, heavy bag work, like, trumps this every time. Even light boxer, if you, like, light boxer is better than this. Like, this light boxer. I'm not saying that the application light boxer is better. What I'm saying is hitting something is better than just air boxing with a VR headset. You can't see yourself. You don't know what you look like. I mean, standing in front of a mirror and shadow boxing, albeit boring, is better than Thrill of the Fight when it comes to training. Sorry, it is. Okay, let's see here. Cleaner Comet 8455. I have to disagree. Thrill of the Fight made me a much better boxer. We shadow boxed before. Okay, here we go with shadow boxing again. And it's pretty much that on steroids. And as we know, everything on steroids is better than not on steroids. It helps a beginner with technique. Bullshit. It helps a beginner get worse. Because they can't see themselves, and there's no one to tell them, hey, stop punching like that. Head movement, debatable. Endurance and stamina. I'll give you like the endurance and maybe the stamina thing, but it might not translate. It made me a much better boxer when sparring. My punches feel lighter when I throw, hence makes me faster, and my stamina has improved a lot. Again, we don't know that this is coming from Thrill of the Fight. This could just be from actively training for, you know, months and months. Like, if you go to a boxing gym and you're not improving, something's wrong with your gym. And to say that it's because of a VR game, you better be playing that game a fucking lot if you can say that this VR game is what's improving you in all of these aspects. Like, there's no empirical evidence. We don't have a control group that's only doing VR boxing versus someone that's only training in a gym, and God, I would love to see that fight because the gym boxers would completely destroy the VR boxers. Hands down, guaranteed. I would bet my house on that fight. Okay, I like this one because it's completely wrong. Swiss Army Knight. This is exactly the same thing as saying shadowboxing makes you worse at boxing. Been shadowboxing as part of my training for over 20 years. Again, they are not the same. Shadowboxing is not the same as VR boxing. You approach it very differently, and anyone who says otherwise is probably shadowboxing completely incorrectly, or playing VR boxing completely incorrectly. I like this guy, Rust359. Thrill of the Fight gives you that feeling of dizziness. Yeah, it sure does, especially like when it starts blurring. I'll give you that. It actually makes me adjust my defense and encourages head movement. That I'll agree with. Yeah, it does. It will help you like adjust your head movement in the game. So again, it helps you get better in the game. But when you fight and you get your bell rung, it doesn't look the way Thrill of the Fight makes it look. It doesn't go like black and white, and yeah, your vision might go, but we all experience it differently. Like when I got my bell rung when I'm sparring with my coaches, or like a long time ago when I would like spar with some of these high-level dudes, my vision would go tunnel vision and go completely like purple on the side. So yay, brain trauma. So again, yeah and no, but I like that he says he uses weighted gloves and weighted vests. Hey, have fun on your elbow injury. This was 10 months ago. I wonder how he's doing. Okay, I like this guy. Here we go. Some TKD guys. Okay, this is 2D animation. I've used a heavy bag since way back when to help with my Taekwondo classes. It's a solid workout and can help you learn to fight. We sparred a lot in class. In basic training, we learned hand-to-hand combat and was physical, and you could take a beating or give it. Okay, my guy. I was in the army too. The hand-to-hand combat you learn in basic training is complete bullshit, and I don't care what they tell you. Unless they've completely changed it in the 20 years since I've been in the Army, which actually they may have. I hope they have, because when I learned it, we were fighting with fucking pugil sticks. Like, who even, like, what war has ever been fought with pugil sticks? And then we had some, like, no, that was it. We did pugil sticks, and then that was it. And then we learned how to, like, do some old-ass World War II moves. Like, no, sorry, I don't know how old this guy is, but whatever. Okay. Shadow boxing. Again, whatever. Take that for what it's worth. A good aerobic exercise was boring. I would argue that shadow boxing actually isn't that good of an aerobic exercise. It's more of a focus exercise. VR boxing, to me, is the same way to turn shadow boxing into a good exercise. Yes, again, but if you're taking it, this proves my point. It takes shadow boxing and turns it into a good workout. Yeah, it's a really fucking good workout. But when you say it's taking shadow boxing and turning it into something, newsflash, buddy, it's not shadow boxing anymore. It's something else. Oh, okay. That's why I like it. It's not meant to train you to box. Okay, point made. It's meant to give you a solid cardio workout. Again, point made. Great. I still agree. I don't see any way they could change things to actually give you the experience of actual fighting. Great. This guy agrees with me. Of course, with technology being what it is, you can never say never. Totally agree. Yeah. Okay, great. Lucas H. Enriquez, 4242. But you think it's okay to improve reaction time for real-life scenarios or nah? I'm going to say or nah, because if you've ever been in like a real fight, like, okay, so I've been in not a lot of street fights, but I've fought people in my younger years when I was stupid and, you know, had nothing better to do. And, like, it doesn't look like thrill of the fight. It doesn't. Like, people who fight you in the real world who maybe have little to no fighting experience, or even if they do, like, street fights don't look like thrill of the fight. You don't just stand there and go toe-to-toe and move around a ring. No, somebody's going to grab a shirt and punch you in the friggin' nose, and it's going to get ugly and messy. So, I don't know. I think, nah. No. Again, there's no tests for this. I'm a very science-based person, and until some YouTuber makes like a video that says, you know, I trained in VR boxing and then, you know, went to street beefs and had a fight, and here's how I did, then I might cave a little bit. But until that happens, no. Okay. I like this guy. Mr. Triple X Booty Shake Triple X. I'm sure there's going to be a grandiose, educated comment here. I'll never get that 8 minutes back. But guess what? You gave to my monetization, so I'm keeping it forever. Thank you. Okay, let me see. I like skipping to the people who disagree with me. There's a few people that agree with me. Oh, I like Rye Boxing. Oh, this guy has boxing in his name. He must be a pro. Bro is basically saying shadow boxing is not a training method to drill techniques, LMAO. I'm 100% not saying that. I'm not saying that. I don't understand why people think that this is shadow boxing. It's not shadow boxing. Okay. VR boxing. Okay, so this guy's channel I do follow, and I like this guy. Put his channel link down in the description, but I do recommend following him. He's like really good at this. All games are not equal. This is VR boxing. But I can tell you this, VR boxing is a great add-on to fight in real life. Okay, I've been boxing for 20 years. The guy has. I give him that. Like, I've watched his videos. I definitely improved in every aspect of my boxing and playing VR. Again, how do we know? How do we know he improved because of playing in VR? If you've boxed for 20 years and you haven't kind of mastered a lot of the techniques, like, what is VR going to do that masters it? I hope you actually leave a comment, because I'm legit curious. If you boxed for 20 years, which is longer than I've boxed, how could VR improve? Like, in what way? You have to learn the basics through footwork, proper punch, and combination. Absolutely. Okay. I recommend 2 to 3 years in a boxing gym. 100%. You should pay your dues in a boxing gym. Yes, you don't feel the impact in VR wearing a vest, but it's a detail, really. Okay, and then I engaged with him, of course, and we actually agreed. And yeah, he called me out on my clickbait title. It's 100% clickbait. Yeah. But, I mean, I deliver on my clickbait. Okay, I like this. Okay, here we go. Okay, I remember when this one came in. With a form and technique like that, I mean, okay, I get why feel it can make you worse, but I actually feel a benefit and it's a fun way to play around, and Creed is a joke. I actually regret buying it. Okay, so what he's probably saying is my form looks like shit, and I'm gonna argue that most people's form looks like shit when they're playing VR boxing, because you can't hold your hands the same way to your face that you can if you're not wearing a VR headset. So, and I know a lot of people hate Creed. I love Creed. But again, I also don't think it makes me a better boxer. This one, from All Things Horror Related. Oh God, rolls eyes. Trust me, bro. That's how I feel reading these comments. Cold Snow Trill Billy 9896 from 2 weeks ago. Not bad. I'm not going to listen to someone that holds their VR controllers in the middle of their chest instead of properly defending themselves. Alright, dipshit. Let me tell you something. If you're holding a VR controller like this, you're not going to see anything. But if you hold it like this, you can raise up and down. And I'm saying, this makes you a worse boxer if you get used to holding your hands like this. But I challenge people, and send me a video if I'm wrong. Hold your hands like you would in an actual boxing stance. In VR, it doesn't work. You can't see shit that covers the sensors. There's nothing you can do. Sorry, you just can't. Well, so I hold them like this so I can actually fucking see. LMAO talking about boxing and showing MMA clips. You never been in boxing competition casual. He's right. He's right. I've never been in a boxing competition. However, I've trained for numerous hours with my coach, who was on the Israeli Pan Am team for boxing. And, yeah, so I've fought some boxers in my days. That was from Keyboard Warrior 1233. Fitting name. Yeah, so that's most of the comments. Now, there's a few comments on comments, but I don't really feel like getting into it because I'm already seeing this video is like 22 fucking minutes long. But yeah, I wanted to address that because people still comment on this video. So I'm going to drop the link to this video in that video so I can kind of like address some of this. But here's what's going to happen. And I know this is going to happen because this is just how YouTube works, okay? I addressed everything. I made my point clear that this is not the same as shadow boxing. And here's what some idiot's going to say in the comments. But you're not a boxer. You don't know how to box. You hold your controllers weird. And you never been in a fight. And you don't know what you're talking about. And my cousin's uncle played this one time and he got real good at it because he played it one time. And that's why you're wrong. I don't care. Cool. Great. Awesome. Thanks for I mean, these videos are monetized. Thanks for the watch time. I appreciate it. So again, do you disagree? Do I have to make a follow-up on this video? I'm probably not going to because I've made my point. I'm more than qualified to talk about this. I've been fighting, oh God, so many years. I don't fight anymore. Like, I'm going to be completely honest about everything. I don't fight anymore. I trained my son, who has been doing Muay Thai for 2 years and is going on 2 years of jiu-jitsu, and I'm still active in the community, and I still, pal around with all these guys. And yeah, I know that doesn't make me a good fighter. And again, I've never progressed beyond the amateur fighting ranks of MMA because I didn't find it very useful. So you can say what you will about that, but like I wanted to do other things. But again, I went to college, got my master's, pretty much focused my entire master's degree on applying strength and conditioning to combat sports, and wrote my thesis on Muay Thai, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and boxing conditioning methods. So yeah, I know a couple things about this. So you can save that for someone who actually gives a shit, because I don't. My name is Ari with FitProVR, and don't forget to leave a comment, bro.